Hello, folks, and welcome to the Atomic Assault Live Show. This is the show where we're going to discuss everything in the tabletop hobby world. I am Wild Chevy, and as always, I'm joined by my buddy Casey and a guest today, James. Casey, how are you this week?
I'm dying, man. I might literally be dying.
Well, hey, you could die 3 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, you have LVO.
Yes, I think with antibiotics and hardcore medications, I might make it through LVO.
See, it's bad you're not a drinking man. A little spiced rum will do you wonders.
Alcohol will only make me worse. I know that.
Yes, those stories from your college days. Engineers know how to do it right.
Oh, we do. There are YouTube videos out there to prove it.
James, how are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good too. I'm actually fighting a cold myself. I hear it's going around Utah. I don't think I'm as bad as Casey, but sick nonetheless. Trying to get over it.
Yeah. Whoever you guys are hanging out with, I just do not want to be around. I'm trying to stay as healthy as I can for this convention.
Well, it's going around, I hear.
Well, we'll all succumb to the con plague after the fact, though.
I would be patient zero of LVO.
All right. So, have you guys done anything in the tabletop hobby world this week? I know Casey's on.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 100% painted. I decided to put down the paintbrushes for a few days, just try to give myself a bit of a break. We're just changing gears a little bit here. So I've been reading some Black Library stuff. Catching up on my Horus Heresy reading. And I got a game in last night. My wife's friend came over. She has fully painted Super Dungeon Explorer, the starter box.
Nice.
And so she brought that over, and we played through that a little bit last night. It's just like the basic one, so there's not all the fancy stuff going on there. So I played as the console, while my wife and her friend each took a couple of heroes. They were playing 4 heroes on only 3 tiles with 3 spawning points, so I thought I was playing down a little bit, and I was going kind of easy, but it was still a total party kill.
Really?
I feel kind of bad about it.
Was it on mini boss or big boss?
I was on the big boss.
Okay, well, that's forgivable. I mean, if you TPK on a grunt, that's real bad.
Well, eventually what happened was about the time the mini boss showed up, they just couldn't keep up. So they basically said, oh, I like this hero and I like this hero, and they picked all the ones they wanted to play, and there wasn't a lot of synergy between them. So they had a bunch of long range damage dealers who could do good individual shots, but when that horde eventually kind of bears down on you, they didn't have anything that could really tank the hits, and they didn't have anything that could really deal with crowd control.
That's one of those games where it's fun to lose.
I had fun winning, so. But about 2/3 of the way through, I'm not sure if they saw it or not, but I saw where this was going. I was just like, okay, I'm not going to use all of these rules. We're going to start, I was trying to dial it back mid-game, and it just wasn't working.
Anything else?
No, that's what I've been up to this week. So it's been kind of a slow week. I'm trying to stay quiet and build up my gaming anticipation for LVO.
And how about you, James?
I am in full tilt boogie. Hurry up and finish for the LVO mode. I got the knight done finally after Forge World forgot to mail me the arms to my knight. But I got it all done. Got the decals or the decals, however you want to say it, on it, based it, and then I got an email from Frontline Gaming that they have a narrative campaign spot open, which is what I originally went for but couldn't get. And so I was ill-prepared when they said I'm in, with basically 2 weeks to go, so I had to come up with a 2,000-point list that was fluff-driven. They didn't want tournament-type stuff. And I pretty much had to get it in ASAP. So I'm going with my Dark Angels, and I'm going to do the Lion's Blade contingent with the Green Horde, the Green Marines. I figure everybody is going to bring the Raven Wing and the Deathwing. So I had to hurry up and paint 2 drop pods, which is what I'm doing right now, drop pods, and a bunch of Assault Marines to go with it, which I don't have. I don't know if you guys can see them or not, but that's what I've been doing, like, super fast. I mean, even right now, I'm still painting drop pods as fast as I can.
Not like a stiff deadline to make you.
Yeah.
It's like I'll come back to these guys later, but right now it's dry brush and 3 colors up.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than that. But yeah, it's not my best. Now, my knight is my best. I should show you guys my knight here, if you want to see it here real quick. But Alan and I are going to try to take on the world with our knight. So give me 1 second. I'll reach over here and grab him.
Yeah, we're going to participate in the night lance or night joust.
Move my drop pod here. So there he is.
That's the new. That's the Mechanicum knife there, isn't it?
Yep, this is the Night Killer.
The shooty night killer.
He's the shooty guy. Yep. So not too bad. I finished him up. I had to hurry up and get him because, like I said, I didn't have any elbows, and that was causing a problem.
You know, if you really had faith in the Emperor, you wouldn't need any of that.
I do have faith in the Emperor, but you know what? I ran about 7 games, 7 scenarios. Rico obviously has 5 knights, and we tried it a bunch of different ways. And one of the things I was telling Alan is it's going to end up the same way. Everybody blows up. And I know that's the result, but because they're so exactly the same, if you get in hand-to-hand combat, you kill the other guy, that guy takes you out with you. So avoid combat at all costs is the name of this Night Joust game in LVO, because everybody's just going to blow up and nobody's going to win.
I mean, it's pretty much a drinking game.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the pub crawls at night too. So
yeah, and it says if a night explodes, everybody at the table has to take a drink
and yell huzzah.
Yeah. So waking up Saturday to do a 9 o'clock start time really gonna hurt
for everybody, because that's one of my first narrative games, and you guys are doing the tournaments now. Casey, I'm still offering tonight if you want to get in on this.
Oh man, I would love it. The Night Joust just sounds like stupid amounts of fun. I'm just worried that it's not going to give me enough time to get my Infinity stuff done.
Do you want me to bring it anyway, just in case?
You know what? If you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't say no to that. If we can, because I'd like to try and squeeze it in if it's possible.
All right, I think they still had tickets available that I know of. So
the way I understand the Night Joust is that they aren't actually putting a cap on it. It's I mean, I think if it just went totally bananas and they had 90 people, they might, but it's going to be one of those open events.
Yeah, it should be fun. And so I'm doing the Night Joust, I'm doing the pub crawl, and I am doing the 3-day narrative campaign, and of course all the interviews I can get in for the channel.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you going to do the narrative. That's originally what I wanted to do. I wanted to get our whole group in there, but I couldn't talk anybody else into it, so I said, screw you all. I don't even need 40K. We'll play my own game. Blackjack and hookers.
Do you have to roll dice for those?
You do, but they don't appreciate it.
That's just craps.
And Alan, what are you doing? You're doing the tournament, right? And the Night Joust?
Yes, I'm in the 40K championship. You'll see me at the top tables probably.
Watching, right?
Yeah, I'll be in the background.
As will we all.
And
Casey, you're doing Infinity, correct?
I am. I'm doing Infinity Friday and Saturday. So it's actually 2 different tournaments. So if I have a bad day on the first day, I can kind of shake it off, start over, come back fresh the next day. So because I won't be drinking, I'll still have a clear head on Saturday, and I'll have the advantage of most of my opponents.
That actually may be a bit more advantage than you realize.
Yeah, you'll still have to, go to bed at a natural hour. We're gamers. We know we like to talk. And all of a sudden, it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're like, you know what? You probably should go get some sleep.
Infinity is oddly enough turned into like a big drinking game. Like people drink hard at Infinity events for some reason.
I blame Dexter.
Dexter and Rumble on Route 66, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, me being sober and lots of sleep, I'll be lucky if I'm the only one who can read the dice in the morning.
I'm just waiting to hear somebody take a scatter dice to the craps table. Boom.
We should totally do that. And like those stupid ordnance dice that not even fantasy uses anymore. Just try rolling those.
I am going to laugh when the pit boss comes up and throws you guys out.
I would actually, and that's the thing where they would just throw you out until you get out of there, and they wouldn't break your hands. So I might actually try that.
You want to get arrested in Vegas. You don't want to end up in the hotel jail.
Exactly. Yeah, let us know when you do that so we can come bail you out.
Or get the camera.
Both.
Yeah, we'll bring the camera.
Well, let's not forget that there's a major sporting event going on that weekend, too, down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife, she's been wanting to go and do something. And, because I'm busy playing Friday and Saturday, it's like, well, maybe we'll do something on Sunday. No, that whole town is shutting down for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So we might be sticking around and playing some more games on Sunday.
Do we know if anybody from MayaCast is coming into the LVO?
Nope, they're not coming.
Oh, okay. Well, because then, sorry, Kip, your Cardinals did not do so well today.
I dance on the Cardinals' graves.
That was not a pretty game today. But we're talking now. Sorry, I slipped into sports ball. We're talking. We should actually get back to miniatures.
Yeah, what is this foosball you guys talk of?
Yeah, if it involves physical exertion of more than lifting up like
a few
dice, I don't do that.
See, I'm a hockey player by trade, but I don't foosball. Nah.
You still have all your teeth.
I do have all my teeth. Thank you, Alan, for noticing my dental hygiene.
And your nose is straight.
Not so much.
Oh,
the
must
camera
just be low quality video. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a goalie. That's why.
Oh.
Okay.
So, as like I said, we got 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So, how are you guys prepping? It's crunch time. So, what do you guys? Are you gonna get into your mantra? Are you gonna sacrifice some dice for better dice rolls? How are you guys gonna prep for this tournament convention?
I have actually formed a pentagram out of D20s. There's a few candles in there with Carlos's picture in the middle of it. I may or may not have summoned something from another plane of existence, but it said that would help me. So I think it'll be okay. What's the worst that can happen, right?
I think that's the line that you don't want to hear in an RPG.
Come on, seriously. When was bringing a demonette into our physical realm ever a bad idea?
Well,
you're reading the heresy.
The fact that you guys can answer that tells speaks volumes.
So, James, how are
Tom
you
Hanks,
prepping?
not as bad as you think.
I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm going to go with pure panic. That's what I'm going with. Just trying to get the army ready, because like I said, I was just going to go down just for the night joust, and then literally a week ago they emailed me and said, "You're in. You need a 2,000 point list by tomorrow. It needs to be approved, and don't do a tournament list." And so I was like, "Okay, well I've got all these Dark Angels, and I just was trying to come up with the perfect fluffy list, and kind of just went with some stuff. So now I went, okay, that's what I got. How hard is it to put a couple drop pods together? And it's not that hard until the doors don't shut, or you have to magnetize something, or until you want to do a good paint job and it's not turning out right. So now, yeah, just sheer panic. Maybe an occasional burning a brush to try to get it to work better. I don't know. It's more sacrificing something to the painting gods than anything else, because I'm doing the narrative. So if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. I'm just kind of going down to have fun. But I am kind of concerned about the night joust. I really want him to do good. I put him together and got him just for this, and so I hope he does well. Don't betray me, Alan.
No, we'll be brothers in arms until the mighty D takes us out.
Yeah, until somebody blows up, or we're too drunk from taking all the shots and the drinks.
So you guys gonna call yourself like Night House Utias, like Eutychus, or
Eutychus?
I don't know. I'm trying to like 40k the name up.
I think we're gonna keep our alliance. Well, we're not even sure we're gonna be on the same table, I guess. First of all, but what are they doing? They're doing 3-on-3 first. Isn't that the way it is? The teams.
I'm not sure.
It's teams at first until we get down to however many they get to 1-on-1.
So whoever we go up against, we're just gonna say, "Hey, just charge on in."
Yeah, just come on in. Let's just end this super quick.
You look tired. You should go. What's the worst that can happen?
So I'm a little bit of a different boat here. My army's fully painted. I generally have my list locked down. Right now I'm just kind of playing the mental game with myself of, if I find myself in this situation, what am I going to do? Just kind of like trying to come up with the worst possible ways that I could, find myself. And trying to think my way out of it. So I'm not spending that time trying to come up with tactics on the fly.
I was thinking about doing a playbook, because I mean the championships, 6 rounds. I know my list pretty well, but yeah, I was thinking about just building up a playbook and say, okay, here's where I want to deploy. Here's where I want to put my objectives. If I'm facing Horde army, do this. If I'm just kind of like basically prepare myself for getting stomped.
Well, you know what they say. Sang Shung says even the best laid battle plans fall apart with first contact with the enemy.
True.
Now that you guys mentioned that kind of stuff, I have been doing a little prep work, but didn't even realize it. I've been listening to Fritz on YouTube's. You guys know who that is?
The name's familiar. I don't listen to him though.
Yeah, Fritz 40K. All he does is blogs. He doesn't do audio or video. He does audio. But he's been talking about tactical deployments and some things. And he's got some pretty smart stuff. And it's kind of stuff, but it's actually good to remind you. Like, turn 1 is the strongest you're going to be. So obviously you want to make the most impact. We know alpha strikes and all that kind of stuff, but turn 1 is the strongest your army's going to be. And after that, it's going to start taking losses and get weaker and weaker. And if you think about terms in that, you're like, okay, if I understand that concept, you can do some things. And he's got some videos up how he talks about different deployments and different tactics. If somebody castles up, you can do this. And somebody has a Tau shooty army, you can do this. And different. It's not specific to one army. It's general tactics. And I've just been kind of listening to him while I paint and didn't even realize it. But now you guys mention it, yeah, I guess I have been kind of listening to that and taking some notes.
And it doesn't hurt to write yourself like a little letter to yourself, I found, because a lot of times you'll have a great mental game going in, but if you have a rough first game or like a rough second game, that mental game can really fall apart. And so it's not bad to have that little note to say, all right, calm down, man. Here's your plan. Here's what your army does. This is what you want to do. don't try and change your game up mid-tournament.
Yeah, don't second guess yourself.
So, but that gets really easy to do, over the course of 6 games.
Yeah, and then like it's a dice game too, and I know a lot of people are like, oh well, Math Hammer and all that, but no, if your dice hate you, they hate you. I went and played at a narrative, for Dice Head. They're doing a narrative, huge narrative event, and so we had a local tournament type of situation. So I went and played there. First 2 armor saves for my Dread Knight. I rolled ones. Right off the bat, first turn, already take down 2 wounds on my big creature.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, and it's almost kind of, it's disheartening when that happens, but it's almost kind of a relief now. Okay, it's happened now. The odds are it probably isn't going to happen again, and if you want to play that, or at least there's that mental superstition. All right, let's get that done and out of the way, and let's move on.
It's fun.
But the flip side is true too. If you can get in like a quick hit or just like a small victory, right out of the gates, that can really put you in the right mental state for the rest of your game.
Yeah, when a bunch of Space Marines take down a Riptide, that's a good day.
Not if you own the Riptide.
Not if you own the Riptide. Good point.
Semantics.
It's Vegas. Anything can happen.
Alan, that's not a challenge.
How many people were in the tournament? Alan, you were telling me the other day, and I can't remember. Is it like the largest or something like that?
They capped it at 420, but
Dear Lord.
They said that they're still opening, so I'm guessing people have dropped out since they stopped. Since they capped it.
My understanding after talking with Reese a little bit is that they are sitting right around 350 right now. They anticipate that they'll have about 20% of those will be no-shows, which is kind of an amazing number, but he says it holds true. However, at the same time, they'll have roughly about an extra 20% show up wanting to do walk-ons. And so it generally evens itself out.
So yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, I'm hoping first turn I don't get stacked up with a Super Friends list or Super Tau or just some wreck me in the face list.
I've played your list, Alan. I mean, I've played your list. I think you can handle the Tau. I really do. I'm not. You can handle them.
It's situational. I mean, like a Green Tide, I've had a real hard time with a Green Tide just because I just get swapped out. But if I could just get, because I mean, it's a 6-round tournament, so day 2, that's where it's going to get a lot tougher in battles. Day 1, if I can get some good matchups, I'll be happy.
Well, I mean, realistically, think about what you're going to be seeing. You're either going to see some Tau nonsense, some nasty Eldar, like lots of Eldar jet bikes, see some Space Marines, or Convocation, big nasties right now. So if you're mentally prepared for that, and your army can take that on, and you know what to do for it, you should be okay.
Yeah. I think it's the new Space Marine Codex. I hear it's just because you get a lot of stuff for free. And that kind of throws off the balance of the game.
I can attest for that. My Lion Blade attachment, I have 2,000 points. I was telling you, Alan, a while ago. But I get all my troops get transports for free except for their upgrades. And it's any kind of transport. Rhinos, Razorbacks, drop pods. And so if you do the math of that just in itself, the Lion Blade's contingent gets about 500 extra points in transport. Free. Totally free.
Battle Company works the same way.
Yeah, well, the same thing. Yeah, you're exactly right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, when you're bringing 1850 points of just everything you have, then you go up against somebody who's got 500 extra points, then it's like, oh, this is gonna hurt. but that's the way the game is.
So James, you can't really do this because I don't think you know what you're going to be seeing in the narrative. But Al, have you been studying the missions
Yes.
and the order that they come in, right?
I'm not really focusing on the order because I mean they could just change it up on me last minute.
Okay. What do you think of the missions then?
Because we've been 6 months now been playing this. I mean we had it at the Gladiator Games. I do like I like how the primary and the secondaries you can tie up on points on that. Which means like if you're like a mid-tier list like myself, I don't have to focus on primaries. I can pick up maelstroms left and right. So
That's true. You've done it to me when we played yours. Your drop pod scoring points every round is something to be contended with. That's for sure.
So I mean, as far as LVO missions are, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's hard because GW doesn't support tournaments. So I mean, the writers of these tournament packets did a top-notch job on trying to figure out a good way to do this tournament.
Yeah, and Reese and the guys over at Frontline Gaming, they've been pretty good at reevaluating missions and restructuring things when it doesn't work. So they've been good enough to realize that nothing is perfect and there's always room for improvement, and they've been open to that improvement too. So is it going to be 6 different missions, or will you be repeating them from day 1 and day 2?
No, 3 rounds each day. So 6 over the Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday.
Right, but will the missions be repeating themselves at all, or is that a different mission every round?
Different mission every round. So it'll be interesting. And we got a lot of friends. I mean, a lot of people in the community are going down. So unlike Gen Con where you go and you're like just one person in a in 100,000, at least here we'll be like, hey, I know you. You're cool.
We got Rich, who plays Orcs from Blue Table, and Thomas is going down. I know that.
Yeah, Brian Gar, he moved away. He's coming. Got Chris Morgan. Got a lot of local players headed down there. In fact, on Sunday, I got picked up into the team tournament with another group of folks here in the locals. So.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting time. 2 weeks from now. And I'm looking to pick up a mat.
Me too.
Now you were saying that they usually they let the fat mats go that they play on for a little bit of a reduced price.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I heard, like last year, the guy said he picked up his mat for $80. So it's a nice discount.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's kind of the last piece of my collection that I've been wanting to put together is a nice mat or two.
And I mean, Frontline, the mats are got some good color, good print, and nice durability. So I mean.
Well, I mean, once you've played on one of those, and then you go back to trying to play like on your felt board, with like kind of some color swirls, it's just not the same.
Yeah, especially I've had a D20 cocked 4 times in a row on a felt board.
That's some talent.
Yeah.
I've
Somebody
heard that
was trying to tell you something.
I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but sometimes they reveal new mats down there.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That they got they're mat of the year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they just released a couple new styles just a few months ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if they release a few new pieces of terrain because they've been starting to do their own terrain sets.
Yeah. Oh, from looking at it, it's a Greenman Designs style. Or that's what the etching on the side is. It says Greenman Design. So they're working with him for these new bits of terrain.
Again, well, I guess a formerly local guy.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see him down there.
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't bring his wife with him, so Darren won't hit on her anymore, and he won't possibly be murdered.
I mean, I know a few female artists who are going to be down there. So, I mean, well, but we know Darren flirts with everybody.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Darren doesn't mean anything by it. He's just the happiest-go-lucky guy, and everybody is his best friend. But wow, yeah, a couple of years back at LVO when he met the two of them, we had to kind of rein him back just a little bit.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Badger has. They're supposed to be down there. And I know they've got a new airbrushing cleaning kit, and I'm going to pick one of those up, but wonder what else they have down there.
Yes, I plan on raiding the Badger booth.
Well, I mean, the Steinel Res. In fact, I think I gave you some of that, right, Casey? The Steinel Res?
Yep, small kit of white, gray, and black.
Yeah. So, yeah, Steinel Res. Do you know if Austin from Brush for Hire is going down, James?
I don't know. I hope he is. I haven't seen him since Valhalla. I talked to him briefly today. I didn't ask that. I just talked to him about his new bat rep that he had up and said it's good to see you again coming back. But I don't know. I hope he is. There was a big list of who was going to be there, but they had said many more. So I'm assuming they're still trying to lock people down.
Well, I know Austin's been at the Badger booth at Gen Con, and he's got some really nice stencils for airbrush.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
So even if he's not there, maybe they'll have his stencils.
Yeah, I'm with Casey. Let's raid it together. Let's
Yeah, that's my first stop. Because I think I'd like to pick up a nice, maybe like a Sotar 2020. I've been meaning to get one of their big packs of paints too, because I really like the Steinel Res. So I'm willing to try their paints as well.
I love their paints. That's what I use almost exclusively to paint with. I have the whole kit and I love it. And I have a Soltar, and you will love that for fine detail. It's amazing.
Because honestly, I've got a cheapo brush. It's what is the Masters G23 or whatever. For $20, it'll put down a base coat just fine. The detail is where it gets a little dicey. So, and I've heard good thing about that Sotar.
It's amazing.
It's
low price too.
It's always nice to have that first airbrush just to beat the crap out of, and learn your mistakes.
So yeah, maybe Secret Weapon. Secret Weapon should probably be down there too, because I think that they're based out of Nevada.
They're out of California.
Oh, okay. I've got packages from them that say Nevada on it, so.
But yeah, they just they launched their RPG set, the Malice terrain. That looks pretty nice.
And it looks like it was designed specifically for 40K.
40K or a dungeon dive, because it's got skulls, So yeah, we all need more skulls in 40K.
It's true. There's never enough skulls or eagles.
So yeah, if they're down there, I might pick up a couple more washes because I don't have the complete set yet. But a few more washes for them. Maybe some of their basing materials because they got nice basing stuff.
This is definitely going to be we're going to need extra space in our luggage just to carry back stuff.
Well, I'm interested in what's going to be in my high roller package.
I could not get one, so I'm kind of jealous.
I think they said that they sold out like within like the first hour or 2 hours of ticket sales.
Yup.
I think I got one.
I got one. Chad got one. Darren got one. I don't think Austin got one.
From what I hear, it's from years past. It's a great amount of stuff.
Well, I had talked with MegaCon Games and I said, "Hey guys, do you think you'll have your plastic minis ready by LVO?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we won't have on the market yet, but we should have all of our Merc stuff done in plastic by then." I was like, it's getting popular to put like a little starter kit inside of these swag bags. They're like, "Oh, that's an interesting idea. We got to contact them."
Casey Roberts, progressing businesses through for his own evil means.
I've said it many times before. If I'm going to get into that game, they need plastic minis and a new version of the rulebook.
Oh, you got the new version of the rulebook out.
Oh, is the new version out?
Or it's coming out, or I guess the print's coming out.
Oh, yeah. It's been coming out for the last 3 years?
2 years. 2 years for that Kickstarter. So,
It's the same as like a Yeti. People swear they've seen it, but nobody can ever confirm it.
A real life Sam Squinch.
So are you guys gonna see any the sights of Vegas, or are you just sticking around the tournament area?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be sticking around the tournament area. I have to do some interviews and all this kind of stuff. Especially if you want to write this off on your taxes as a business, right? As a business trip. Us YouTubers. No, I'm probably going to be just doing all that. Just gonna say, because I've got the night joust, I've got the pub crawl, and I've got the narrative, and the narrative goes all 3 days. It actually goes into Sunday, so I'll be doing that. Hopefully, see you guys down there. Well, I don't see Alan because he's in the night joust with me, but
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be around. That's why I picked Infinity, because it was going to give me plenty of time to walk around and see and do other stuff. But my wife is going to be down in Vegas at the same time, and so I've promised that I'll spend a little bit of time with her.
So you'll see him with a leash.
Oh, no. That stays up in the room.
for the greater good, right?
We need more Tau in the world.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. You guys were talking about the LVO and the ITS system. They nerfed the Tau. Remember that. Don't forget that they've nerfed that rule. That big rule that allows them to shoot at everything. Which sounds like everything. I just sounded like Tau, period. But
it gives them all the buffs.
Yes, they nerfed it for the tournament system.
Honestly, the thing is, I look at that, and I've played a number of games with that and trying to make it work, and it's not as powerful on the board as what it looks like on paper. Even if you take the most, we'll say, liberal interpretation of that rule, the fact is that the actual game just gets in the way. Not every unit is going to have line of sight. To make that unit work, you can only target one, maybe 2 or 3 other ones, depending on how you interpret it. And so you're really limited in what you're shooting at and what you're taking out. And so I think a lot of people saw this on paper and didn't understand the realities of how it worked. Because I mean, how often is your army in range of a single unit? Like your whole army within range of it. What kind of setup do you have to do for that? And so maybe you can do it, but you're not scoring points that way. So I think the really dangerous thing in this codex that they've allowed is having multiple storm surges in a unit. You bring 2 or 3 of those storm surges, and they will walk over any unit in this game.
Guess we'll see. I mean, I'm not sure what the grand meta is for storm surges.
Well, Frankie over at Frontline has been doing a lot of testing with it, and the results have been overwhelmingly positive with them. When you're using them as almost like a more aggressive, almost assaulting unit versus a shooting unit. I mean, it sounds dumb, but when you have a toughness 6 monstrous creature or gargantuan creature, you're not going to be able to double it out. And then when you put feel no pain on it and an invulnerable save, good luck trying to bring that thing down, much less 2 of them. And then he has D shooting, he has D stomps.
That's true. Don't forget, and I think it's gonna. I will be shocked if I don't see it, but don't forget, this is the first tournament or big tournament with the Dark Eldar Codex, and you can now deep strike D-size on gunboats with the warp portal or whatever it's called, and not scatter.
Oh, is that the new Corsairs?
No, the unit, the HQ of the Dark Eldar have it. Webway portal, that's what it is. Webway portal, and they can deep strike a whole. He can be inside the gunboat of the Tau, and then you can ally with normal Eldar. Or, I'm sorry, not Tau. I'm sorry, Dark Eldar, and then you can put normal Eldar D-size with Wraith Knights or Wraith Guard in there, and just boom, you got a gunboat. You can just flame the crap out of everybody, and then you can disembark, and now you've got Eldar in your back doorstep like that, and they don't scatter.
I faced those sites this Saturday. I mean, they're scary for D, but as a flamer, they're -1 on the D template, so you never get a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're not horrible, but
yeah, you always get a save against it, and it's only strength 4, so you're never going to get doubled out.
But they're in your back line.
Yeah, that's it.
And depending on what army you play, and depending on what the Dark Eldar player takes, he's got a couple options in which he can really cause you to run away. And if you're on your own table edge, you can have a hard time. And then the Raider, that's what I'm talking about, not a gunboat. The Raider itself can have Phantasm Grenade Launchers, I believe it's called, which cause fear tests, things like that. And so you can really cause some havoc by making you take a fear test and a morale test and run away.
Well, sounds like it's going to be if it gets to the top tables. It sounds like Saturday is going to be a bad day for some folks.
Yeah, I think whoever wins the tournament is pretty much going to win handily. It's not going to be like by the skin of their teeth. I just have this feeling, and I'm not a tournament player, so I don't know, but it seems like with all the way the codexes and stuff are going right now, somebody's just going to beat somebody down pretty handily.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, there's a lot of, if you're playing in a local tournament or you're playing with your friends, to a certain extent, you don't pull out all the stops, unless you're doing something specific. LVO is the type of tournament where you specifically bring the cheese. You bring the biggest, nastiest stuff you can, because that's what's expected. So if you don't see that sort of stuff, I'll be really surprised.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, what are you expecting for Infinity?
Well, with Infinity, it's tough because there's no top tier army. There's no top, winning list. There are good combos, and I'll argue that there are better armies than other ones out there right now. But I think in particular what I'm going to be seeing a lot of is we'll probably see a lot of U.S. Ariadna because that's popular. People have had the boxes long enough that they started painting them. They've got them together. They've got a few new units to play with. So I think that'll be popular. Hawk Islam can spam their specialists really well, and so I think that they'll be popular as well. And then in general, just Toha. The dirty artichokes. So they're just so nasty in the ITS format that you're almost foolish not to bring them when you see what they're capable of doing. So I don't like to call an army overpowered in Infinity, but if we were going to call one overpowered, it would probably be them. So the ironic thing is, with Toha, I doubt you'll see a lot of their newer units. It's really kind of like their original, Dirty Dozen of units that they came out with that are really the best and really make the most sense in a tournament setting.
They got the new symbiote beast. Have those been released or no?
Yep, they're released. Whether or not people are going to have time to get those built and painted up for LVO remains to be seen. But honestly, when you look at their rules, even the Toha players have not been impressed with it. I'm not going to call them bad units, but they're a lot cooler model than their rules would lead you to believe. So I'm bringing my Steel Phalanx, and I think I'm going to be a little bit of a meta breaker on this one. Most people have kind of moved away from Steel Phalanx. So hopefully I'll be able to take a few people by surprise.
Yeah, nothing like showing up to a tournament where your opponent knows everything about these new net lists, and then you bring something that breaks his mind.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot of net lists with Infinity. I guess there are a few out there, but people tend to kind of bring what they like, is what I've seen more than anything. So I've been trying to think, maybe I kind of want to make little goodie bags for all my opponents, just be like, hey, congratulations, you're going to kick the crap out of me, but I want to have a fun game, so here's a little prize bag.
Well, I've heard people at LVO just walk around with a fifth of Jack, so I mean you could just do that and say, here, have a shot, let's play.
Yeah, we ran into that at Feast of Blades. There's a guy, he had just this giant thing of wild turkey. Was like, all right, guys, let's take some shots. And I was like, I don't really do that. He's like, you sure? It's free. And I was like, I'm good. But yeah, when great things would happen in the game, it was like, that's worth a shot, And so he was drinking pretty good throughout the whole tournament. And was sharing. It was like a gallon jug that he had.
I think that's an excellent strategy. You should do that to your opponents. That way you'll win.
Two hammer to Matt Hammer.
Yes, Beerfinity. No, like I said, Infinity's at these tournaments, it's turning into a drinking game, so I don't think I'm actually going to need to help them at all. So Friday's tournament probably won't go too well, but Saturday I think my sobriety should carry me through the day.
I'm assuming you win if no one shows up, right?
That's what I'm going to tell the TO.
It makes sense.
You know what? I will actually even play the game, just against nobody. I'll roll my dice and move my guys along the table. I'll do objectives, and it'll be amazing. Everybody's going to be wondering, what the heck is that guy doing over there?
When you start yelling at yourself and cursing and table flipping.
Yeah, I still won't be able to win any rolls when I'm just playing by myself. Or I'll roll so amazing, I'll have like every roll be a crit, and I won't have anybody to show it to.
I hate when that happens.
Okay, Alan, you just texted me a picture, dude. Just put it up on the screen.
No, I'll have to. I text it to you, and then I can. I need to do share screen.
Just share screen the picture.
I'm working on it.
Alan's too busy drinking already.
That was Saturday night. Sunday is hangover recovery day.
You know, I talked to Alan the other day. I texted him and I says, "Hey, do you mean to put alcoholic beverages in your screenshots every time?" I don't think he even realized he was doing it.
Oh no, I know exactly what I'm doing.
We have this discussion actually before every show starts. I'm like, you got this in here, or what's that? And he's like, oh, okay, you know. He likes to get off the persona that he's not a lightweight.
Alan, are you coming to the pub crawl?
I did not sign up for it, but I'm pretty sure there's probably openings.
I think Austin has signed up for it. He's going to need a buddy. And, you know, he's an orc player, so he drinks pretty hard.
I'll match him up with a Space Wolf player then.
See, you're talking about personalities. I'm just talking about what inevitably is going to happen to his orc army over the course of the tournament.
They become drunk as well?
You know what? When Austin actually becomes an amazing player the more he starts drinking, and his painting gets better too. We had him on a paint and take, and I was running beers for him, and by the end of the night he was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is any good. And the next morning we were looking, and we were like, dude, this is like the best guy in your army.
That's how it is, though. I mean, or it's like that level of exhaustion you have to have at the point of no return, and then all of a sudden the next day, boom, you got the best painted hero flag, or it's just you have to take yourself out of that frame of mind and relax.
Alright, well, I'm sick, and if that's the case, I'm taking a bunch of NyQuil then.
Woohoo! Bring some Robotess and we'll be robo-frying.
Yeah, because I gotta get these drop pods and everything else done.
Have you been using an airbrush at all on them, or are you just hand brushing them, or what?
Yep, I have. Just trying to make them look nice, the insides and whatnot.
Oh wow, that does look nice. Well, I guess if you're going to something like LVO, you know, you wanna put a nice dress on.
Yep, I do want to put a nice dress on. So yeah, just try to make it pretty.
I won't paint the inside of my drop pods because the doors won't even open up.
Cheater.
That's not cheating.
That's totally cheating.
But nah.
That is cheating.
Wobbly model syndrome.
My first drop pod I put together, I was kind of in like I said, a rush job, and the two doors didn't fit and they snapped off, so I had to file it down and magnetize them and stick them in.
You know, that's the one thing I've never painted as a drop pod, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
They're fun, I guess. It's a drop pod.
The fun, it's exponential. The more drop pods you have, the more fun you have.
Well, I have 2.
Is that why Darren is running 13 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a buddy. He's playing MSU Blood Angels with drop pods.
He went last year, didn't he, and do it?
Yep.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Yep. He does okay with them. You know, he's never at the bottom, never really at the top. He just kind of sits comfortably in the middle. But he likes the army and he likes the way it plays, so
That's all
he's
that
a
matters.
winner.
That's all that matters. And see, well, I'm doing the narrative, so it's all about fun and reading what the narrative guys are doing. They don't want you to go for the win necessarily. They want to reward. The way they put it was risky things. So you want that sergeant to charge in narratively and kill something heroically, and they want that. And they said they're going to give private support and narrative points for that kind of stuff. So if you can do something bold and heroic, according to the 40K, 41st Millennium, because there is only war in the Grimdark, they'll reward you. They said, like, I'm not quite sure what, but they gave the impression of, they'll upgrade your sergeant with some stuff, or
Well, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on that because I'm really kind of feeling bad that I didn't jump into the narrative because that just sounds like it's going to be a good time.
it looks like a good time. It starts off with Kill Team and Cocktail Hour on Friday, and then it moves in. They said they have a special death race scenario for everybody.
Yeah, I've been paying attention to the terrain and like the cars and stuff they've been building for it, and it looks amazing.
Should be a fun time. We'll let you know. Come on over and watch me get my Dark Angels stomped on.
I don't know. Do Dark Angels do well at low points?
I haven't played the new Codex. I started 40K a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, then kind of went away from it, and didn't really understand. I don't even remember what edition it was, but I came back with Dark Vengeance, so 6th edition, and I liked the Dark Angels. They did really well. They're not a good tournament team by no thing, but with the new Codex and the new shenanigans that the Raven Wing can do with the jinking and reroll jinking, and then they all get to fire Overwatch on 5s instead of 6s. There's a possibility, but again, I decided to leave all the bikes and stuff at home because I figure enough people are taking them. I'm just gonna go with the green tide here and see how I do. Just have some fun.
Yeah, see, that's the way I like playing my tout too. We're the fluffy, cheaty, new hotness right now, but I don't really play my army like that. I just kind of play the units that I like to play, and sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't.
I tried. I really tried. I wanted to do that, but I had my good intentions went away when I had my nice, okay, cool tournament list, and it just got smashed, and I ended up in like second to last place. I'm like, okay, we're gonna switch this around. We're gonna try to be a little bit more beefier, but playing the two codexes that have a hard time winning, I mean, it's an uphill battle.
You were drunk and shirtless on a Saturday night at the GW web store, weren't you, Alan?
But you know what? Speaking of GW stores, there's a posting for GW store manager in Utah. So I threw my hat in the name of the hat. So we'll see.
I will go and buy something there the first day just to support it, and then I will probably never go back. But I hope they get one in Utah. Well, I mean, we've had Black Library authors and stuff come through here for GW before, haven't we?
A lot of them live here. A lot of authors live here in Utah.
Well, yeah, it's because it's such a barren wasteland that they have nothing to distract them with, and they get a lot of writing done.
And skulls everywhere.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The Mormon Church is basically the Imperium.
I'm not even going to touch that one.
No, I'm in the club. I get to say that. So.
Yeah, I am not, so I will abstain.
Where's the Golden Throne? Is that in the Salt Caves down south?
You are not allowed to know about that. I actually should probably stop this because I am genuinely in fear of going to hell now.
Well, is that the Eye of Terror or just hell?
No, the Eye of Terror is California. I mean, have you seen the stuff that comes out of there?
Yeah, wildfires.
All right. Well, Alan, before I damn my soul for all of eternity, how about we wrap the show up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had an interesting night, a lot of interesting topics. Um, for folks at home, if you're going to LVO, we'd really love to see you. James will put you in front of his camera and interview you.
I will.
Yeah, Casey will be dancing on tables, throwing dice at himself. So,
It's okay when you're sober, right?
yeah.
Don't let Alan fool you. He'll be shirtless at the GW booth.
Hey, if that's what it takes to get four-year-old models, boom. I got no shame. But yes, we'd really love to see you down there at the LVO, Las Vegas Open, sponsored by Frontline Gaming. But yeah, put in the comments below if you're going to be there. We'd really love to hang out and meet you all. But that's it for the show tonight. Like this video, share it with your buddies, comment, and subscribe to see more. Casey, anything else?
Not just as always, if there's a piece of information or something you find interesting and you want us to take a look at it, shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com. This is the Atomic Salt, and we've just blown your mind.
James, real quick, plug your show.
40K Amateur Hour. Myself, Chad, and Rico. You can find us on YouTube. 40K Amateur Hour. This year we just hit 1,000 subscribers. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, you want to get interviewed or say something? I'll put you on camera. I have no shame. And neither should you.
All right, folks. That's it for us. See you next week. Have a good night.